Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts presented by LeBear's Casino. I'm Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Chrysan on this Monday morning edition of Sports Shorts. I am live at the Pete Goldsby Field in preparations for start of the Baton Rouge Rougarou season, which is 15 days away in the Texas Collegiate League, 15 days away from getting started. Tommy Chrysan at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen, probably about from where I am, about 5-6 minutes away, just across the Mississippi River Bridge from downtown Baton Rouge, is Court Street Cafe. And, of course, we're presented by LeBear's Casino. LeBear's is a great place to be this week with all the conference tournaments going on, Sun Belt Conference tournament. You got the finals of the Southland this weekend. You got the SEC tournament happening. And if you want to play hooky one of those days or go someplace for dinner or lunch and watch great college baseball action, you could go over to LeBear's Casino in Baton Rouge. Tommy, the Tigers over the weekend take care of business. They didn't start off. It's not how you start. It's how you finish. And LSU won 2 out of 3 against the South Carolina Gamecocks and Paul Maneri. His season is finished. Or is South Carolina? They did it's not. They've got one more game left to play in the.
Well, they play Florida. Yeah, and they'll play Florida.
Right, who's one of the hottest teams in the country. But LSU punched their ticket to the top 8 national seed, in my opinion. They finished 3rd in the SEC, 19-11 overall in the league play. They are going to be a top 8 national seed no matter what they do on Friday. They don't play till Friday, and, of course, the SEC tournament is a single elimination event now. So LSU's in the driver's seat, Tommy. I didn't go to Hoover with nothing really to play for other than just for fun and pride. And LSU fans can make their plans for a regional host, and which usually means you're hosting a super regional as well.
Yeah, they really do. LSU stayed number 1 in the Baseball America poll and the D1 poll. They tied with Vanderbilt 19-11. They won the tiebreaker due to a better common opponent record. LSU beat that Vandy out by 1 game. That's what gave them the 3 seed. They're either going to play Auburn, A&M, or Mississippi State, depending on how those teams do leading up till Friday. 4 games Tuesday, 4 games Wednesday, 2 Thursday, Friday. So SEC Network will be full of baseball if you want to get some. But LSU, as you said, got it done. What they had to do, clearly going to be a top 8 national seed. Maybe not number 1, but they'll be in the top 8, which is what the goal is going to be. Now, Jay Johnson has already said, might tinker with the pitching on Friday. If they lose Friday, that's not going to affect them being a national seed. So talk that he may tinker with how he pitches, might be Johnny Holstaff, and then he'll be gearing up his guys for the next week, be it Anderson or Ianson or whomever. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe I'm sure he'll meet with the media before that game, and we'll find out more about it. But you're right, LSU got it done, no question about it. A lot of college baseball. UNO, the 8th seed in the Southland, wins the Hammond Pod. They'll play Houston Christian in Houston this weekend. And I know you're involved with the Sun Belt tournament, which they're playing in Montgomery this year.
So here's the thing, Tommy, when it comes to what will LSU do Friday at 7:30, which will probably end up being 9:30, the way tournaments run at SEC. But, you either throw Anderson on Friday, or you don't throw him at all, and what I mean by that is you want to have him have the full rest, right? And so to me, maybe you go Anderson and Ianson just so you get them some work, so you keep them on a routine, you let them throw 3 innings each or something like that, just so that they don't have 2 weeks in between starts. You can either go that route, or you can say, you know what, Anderson, he had the cramp in the wrist. He could use a week off. Ianson's thrown a lot of pitches lately. Let's just shut them down completely. Let's go to Hoover. We only got to play 3 games. We'll figure it out if fortunate enough to win 1 or 2 without those guys. We'll just use Johnny Holstaff and go with everybody else and get through it. That's one way you can look at it, or you can go with the philosophy of, you know what, I want to make sure we keep them on rhythm, let them get their pregame workout, let them get their routine. They're only going to throw 2 or 3 innings, no matter what. That's to me, it's one of those 2 options, nothing in between.
I agree, and we'll see. That makes sense to not wait 2 weeks before you start. So we'll see how that works out and how it plays out. And keep in mind, they win Friday, they'll have a game Saturday. Now, the Friday game is 6:30 Louisiana time, and it's the second game of 2 that day. So it's not 4 that day. So not saying it's going to start right on time, but it might not be super duper late unless you get a ton of extra innings, before. You get a run rule before, then, it could start on time. But we'll see how that goes. So kind of think that SEC bracket.
The interesting thing is whoever LSU plays on Saturday, and it's obviously 2 of the 3 teams are A&M, or series that they lost. They lost 2 out of 3 to A&M and got swept at Auburn. So you got an opportunity to maybe take on an opponent with a little juice. I don't know if that plays into maybe how you pitch as well, but anyway, excited for LSU, excited for them to be in the driver's seat, excited to host a super regional at the box, because obviously the way LSU has played this year, they're much better at home than on the road. And at the box is, the stats show it. The history of LSU baseball shows it. In the postseason, the Tigers have a tremendous advantage at home. And so mark your calendar. First weekend in, I guess, May the 30th through June 1st. That's is probably that's what we're looking at the dates for the regional, and then after that you're looking at the 5th through 7th or something like that, or 6th through 8th will be the super regional dates. So mark your calendars. Southland Conference baseball, some shocking developments there. You have the number 6 seed and the number 8 seed advancing to the championship round. Now, 8 teams made the Southland Conference tournament. Southeastern was the number 1 seed in Hammond. And then UT, RGTV, whatever, sounds like an app you need to buy to watch games or something. But UT, Rio Grande Valley, they were the 2nd seed. They hosted a 4-team pod. Neither one of those top 2 teams advanced. Instead, it's Houston Christian, the number 6 seed, who's been a shocking development there. They got a first-year head coach. He didn't get to take the job till like mid-July. He's going to be hosting a 2 out of 3 series against the UNO Privateers. Dax Norris, who didn't take over as the UNO head coach till mid-January when Blake Dean resigned. Two amazing stories, 2 first-year head coaches in the league. One team is going to be going to an NCAA tournament, and it's not at all any of the teams that people thought it would be.
I agree completely. Like you talked about last, I love the format that the Southland uses. I think it's good. And, it is what it is. And UNO and Houston Christian, one of them teams had a punch a ticket for regional. So nobody had that on the bingo card going into the weekend, but that's what happened. And that's, again, the beauty of baseball. You got to line up and play, and you don't know what's going to happen in 9 innings. And disappointment for Southeastern and Rio Grande Valley, but you had your chance. You were at home. It just didn't work.
Couple former Rougarou players playing for playing for Houston Christian. Of course, Jack Walker hitting 3-hole. Not many 3-hole hitters in the country with 0 homers, but that's what Jack Walker's doing. But yet he's having a great year. He's hitting over 320. That's Todd Walker's son, played for the Rougarou in 23, and they have another pitcher on that team as well. That was a Rougarou player. Couple 2025 Rougarou players for the UNO Privateers. We've got a couple pitchers, an outfielder, and Husser that will be playing this weekend. So paying attention to that tournament for a lot of different reasons. And what a great story. It's going to be a Cinderella story for whoever ends up going to an NCAA regional, but we do know it'll be a first-year head coach in the Southland Conference. You don't say that very often. The Sun Belt, the Raging Cajuns have a lot of work to do. They struggled down the stretch. They lost 2 out of 3 at home to Arkansas State this past weekend. They go into the Sun Belt Conference tournament below 500 on the season, above 500 in conference play. They're the 5th seed in the Sun Belt Conference. But there are 3 teams that everybody is paying attention to, Coastal Carolina, Southern Miss, and Troy. All 3 of those teams. At the moment, most people have those teams in the NCAA tournament. But obviously, stranger things have happened. Troy had won every single series this year that they played until the last one. when they lost it to Southern Miss and when they played them. So 3 teams right now punching their tickets in the Sun Belt Conference. We'll see if that changes at the end of the week. And as you mentioned, all the games will be in Montgomery, Alabama, the home of the former Biscuits, Montgomery Biscuits. I'll be on the call with Matt Stewart, and we'll be Remy style in a studio at the Superdome in New Orleans. Tommy, I don't know about that. I don't love that. It is what it is. I'll be doing 15 to 17 games this week on TV, but not loving the Remy.
Well, we talked about that before. After COVID, there was a lot of that stuff going on nationwide, even in the major leagues. There was remote broadcasting. And I've talked to Ben McDonald and David DeLucci, who did some of that after COVID. And it's tough because there's things that happen in the ballpark that you see when you're up in the press box, okay, whatever it may be, minor thing or major thing, that you're not going to see when you're on remote. But and obviously you're saying that y'all are going to identify that. So, we just have to see how that works for the Sun Belt. But hey, like you said, Raging Cajuns with a lot of work to do. We'll see.
But the one thing I don't like about it too, Tommy, is we had meetings yesterday and today with coaches, half-hour conference call meetings to learn about their team and players and all that. And when you got, there's actually 10 teams that are in this tournament. Tuesday's a play-in game, 2 play-in games. So we have to prep for 10 teams. And the thing that I don't like about it, Tommy, is that okay, well, during the week, you can't go down the dugout, and have a conversation, 45 minutes before game time to get some up-to-date info or, hey, why did this happen? Why that happened? Yeah, you can call them at night or early in the morning, but you don't have that ability to kind of get updates and info during the week. And obviously when you play a conference tournament that lasts 5-6 days, a lot of things can happen. And so I think it takes away from the broadcast. I'm a little disappointed that that's the case, but it is what it is. We'll make the best of it, and probably 99% of the people at home will never know that we're not on site.
Well, of course, they watch the sports shows daily. They now know. Come on, man.
A little peek behind the scenes. That's right.
Yeah.
What else you got going on in the world of sports?
Well, real quick, one footnote on the SEC baseball season. Tennessee only won 4 of their 10 series. As your defending national champs, and we know that story. Hey, Scotty Scheffler wins the PGA. I watched a lot of that. He had 6-shot lead going to the last hole. He made a casual bogey. He wins again. His third major, first PGA. His career earnings now $81.9 million. This year that's $10.1 million in 2025. So Scotty Scheffler wins that. Next major, the U.S. Open at Oakmont in Pittsburgh, comes up in a little while. NBA, the conference finals are set. The West, it's Oklahoma City versus Minnesota. The East, it's Indiana versus New York. Knicks won a World Championship 70 and 73. Indiana's never won one. Minnesota's never won one. Oklahoma City won one when they were the Seattle Supersonics before moving to Oklahoma City. And again, the Knicks over 50 years. So somebody's going to get a title in the NBA that hadn't had one either forever or a very, very long time. Footnote, New York Knicks. Backup center Mitchell Robinson, 7-footer. Junior and senior year, he plays high school ball at Chalmette High down in St. Bernard Parish. He's a bench guy, gets 10, 12, 14 minutes a game, etc. So we'll see how those begin tomorrow night. No hockey playoffs tonight. I don't know what Hunter McCann's going to do. Nothing to bet on hockey. No NBA playoffs tonight. You do have a baseball slate, a bunch of nice night games. Paul Skeens the other day, Ryan, his second career complete game, lose 1-0. 1 walk, 9 punch outs. They lose 1-0. Aaron Nola on the injured list, got an ankle issue, and he needs a little break. His number's not real good.
I mean, Paul Skeens is 3-5 with a 2.5 ERA. He's Nolan Ryan. I mean, Nolan Ryan had losing records and years where he had great strikeout numbers and a ridiculous ERA and just played on a lot of bad teams. So Paul Skeens looks like he's a young Nolan Ryan at the moment until the day comes where he can be a free agent, the Yankees or the Dodgers sign him, But until then, he's going to have to be in purgatory.
Well, like you said, Ron, 15 days until the Rougarou. I'm working on a lot of stuff. You're working on a lot of stuff. Season tickets and merchandise are available. BRRougarou.com. The open is June 3rd, and you get in free that night. Tuesday night, June 3rd, Pete Goldsby Field, Gordon McKernan. He's got your ticket cost for you. So gearing up. The Rougarou Fever's grabbing the greater Baton Rouge area. Part of the Texas Collegiate League. BRRougarou.com. Get your season tickets and your merchandise.
Yeah, no reason to not be in that number. Opening.
Let's break a record on that night. Right? Can we break an attendance record that night?
I hope so. It is a Tuesday. That's the only thing that if we were having an open night on a Friday or Saturday, I'd be a little bit more optimistic. But still, regionals will be over with. It's got schools out. Games at 7, so we hope folks will make it out. At the Pete Goolsby Field. So, TK, I'm gonna let you sign off. I'm over here. I'm gonna get to work, but we'll be back Wednesday. Hunter McCann will be filling in for me, and on Friday we'll give you an update from New Orleans at the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. Headquarters. Until then, go to bruguru.com.
All right. And of course, I'm at Court Street Cafe. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. They'll be closed next Monday for Memorial Day, but back open that Tuesday morning, the day after Memorial Day. Jason and staff do a great job. Connect on Facebook and Instagram. You'll know the lunch specials today, red beans and rice, dinner specials, and the dinner of the week special, drink specials, other things going on. Court Street Cafe, 805 Court Street in Port Allen. We want you to check them out. Full service bar, you can see that behind me. Check out Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. As we always say, like and share this show, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or X. Like and share this show. That helps out a whole lot. Get those Baton Rouge Rougarou season tickets and merchandise. It's all available. Wednesday, Hunter McCann will be pinch hitting for Ronnie Rance. He'll be with me Wednesday morning for Sports Shorts Daily from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Don't forget LeBear's Casino and Hotel. I'll be out there this Saturday for radio in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. On behalf of Ronnie Rance and everybody here at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen, have a great day, everyone.